good?
We're on.
We're live. CP3 coming to you live from WLVS Radio. It's another Wednesday night. And yes, the trio is here. Quite not yet, but you see we have the lovely Sheeta P in the building. How are you doing tonight, Miss Sheeta P?
What up, everybody? I'm doing good.
Glad to hear. We having a pre-Thanksgiving Day show. We're going to cover a vast gambit of events that you know we bring to you live: sports, politics, music, fashion, and then boom, now the trio is officially in the building on WLVS Radio, coming to you live. Tru Radio. Black GOP, how you doing tonight, good sir?
I am doing fantastic. Got some. It's gonna get to party with the three of you guys tonight. You know, we're not just drinking bottle and extra water. We're just doing a little celebrating tonight. Folks, I am so excited. The team is finally together. You know, me and Kara have been doing a couple of shows, but to have Sheeta P here, just lighting up the entire show. Like literally, like nobody who's watching this is looking at me or Kara right now.
Pretty much.
Like nobody. They're just like seriously, it's ridiculous.
Well, if they're on my Facebook live feed, they can. But
yeah, just get out, back out. No. But it is good to see you guys, man. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yes, indeed. Happy Thanksgiving. It's definitely going to be a great show. Got some good eats tomorrow. Got some good football tomorrow that we definitely going to talk about in a little bit as I break down the Redskins-Cowboys matchup. There's huge implications in the division. Redskins 6-4, Cowboys 5-5. Both of them vying for first place in the division. So it's definitely going to be a very interesting contest that I'm going to break down in a few minutes and all the ins and outs and give you what to look for in this game.
You know, I'm such a non-football fan. I barely understood half of what he said, Sheeta. You know, but I still make the show work. I still bounce. You know, that's the trick to this. Guys, getting ready to have a fantastic show. You guys have plans for tomorrow, or just gonna? Kara, you working?
Nah, I'm actually taking off. I'm gonna go spend some time with the family, with the nieces and nephews, with moms and sisters, but then get back to the house for the 4:30 kickoff, and you know, have the post-game show for Sports on the Hill podcast. Win, lose, or draw, we bring it to you every week after the game. We break it down, what happened, why it happened, and who's to blame.
All right, so Sheeta, it's great to have you back now. For those who don't know you, let them know about yourself.
Well, if you don't know, I sing, I model, I act. I'm affiliated with the Coke Boys. Of course, you see I'm a radio personality. I've just been on two covers of magazines. Been in a few movies and things of that sort. So that's just a little bit about me.
This is 50 mixtape.
Oh, and I hosted a This Is 50 mixtape.
That's our girl. That's our host. That's our
And
co-host.
I just did a mixtape with, shout out to Drew Pop from the Coke Boys. I'm French Montana's artist. We just did a song together, and it's on a Coke Boy mixtape. So that's what's going on.
Boom.
Go check it out.
And that's the thing about Tru Radio Network and our entire squad, because it's just three of us up here. We're like the hosts of this show, but like we're really about 40 deep, and everyone, they're like no slouches. You know what I mean? Most you know, you ask
weak links.
You know, you ask your average female radio host, like, oh well, you know, I just do this as a hobby, you know. But it's like for she, it's like a whole life. You know, it's all wrapped up. Carol, you want to get us started on some sports? The Redskins it's looking like they're having a bad week, dude.
Oh man,
it's looking like they're having a really bad week, son.
It was a wild week. It started out, you know, pretty good. Robbie and myself and Sports and Hill podcast went to the game. You know, got some tickets, went to check it out, and then that play happened. That ironically was 33 years to the day, actually on the 40-yard line, the same place that it happened, and ironically had the same score of the game, where Alex Smith broke his fibula and tibula to end this season impossible career, and it says 6 to 8 months for rehab. He should be back to 100%. Said the surgery went successful, so all we can do is hope for the best and pray that you know, he can get it together and get back to playing form. Because I haven't seen the injury. I haven't seen it. I refuse to watch it. If you listen to my show, I don't look at stuff like that. I have a photographic memory. It sticks up there. So I'm good. I know you said you checked it out.
I saw it because it was so everyone kept talking about it. So I was like, okay, so I YouTubed it, and it's one of the few times, and I can watch anything. I mean, like reporters getting their heads cut off and overseas, and murders and murder footage, and I can watch anything. But the way it happened, it was actually jumped out loud and said, "Oh," because it looked like. Have you seen the picture, Sheeta?
I did. That's why I'm looking like, dang. As soon as I get to the house, I'm checking it out.
It looks like the combination of an L and a J. Like that's just how.
Did they get the footage or just the
Yeah,
picture?
no, the footage. It's all in
like
because
the
RG3
injury thing?
Worse.
It's way worse.
But the internet's they're full of a bunch of assholes, so people have it in like slow motion with the Titanic music playing. The internet's terrible, dude. They're terrible.
Well, I refuse. I will not be a part of that. But let's go ahead and get into this breakdown of the Redskins Cowboys game. I'm gonna make it abbreviated. Not going to get too in detail because I know we got a lot to cover. But looking at both of these teams, they're offensively kind of match the same. Both of them are around the same in the division, in the league, giving up about 300 yards passing on offense. Redskins have a more successful more successful passing game with Dak Prescott being limited, but with them picking up Amari Cooper, that's definitely adding an element to their team. That's definitely going to allow them to stretch the field, which will allow them to try to do more play action and try to get Ezekiel Elliott loose. Because if you remember the last game, the Redskins held him down to 33 yards, his second lowest performance ever in his career. So they're definitely going to be keyed in on the run, but they can't sell out on the run when you have Cooper on the outside that can be opened up with the play action game or, with the zone reads and the pistol formation that they use. And I know, Jason, you have no idea what I was just talking about.
I have zero idea. I was almost like about to call my mom. Hey, Mom, I'm on radio. Check me out. I have no idea what most of that means. Some of it, yeah.
Well, I know most of the Redskins fans is watching this. Check it out on Facebook Live, or you can check out the Listen Vision Live feed on my page. Go check it out for a better view. You get the front screen view of it. But I'm probably, just going to break down a little bit more of it. Defensively, both of these teams are in the top of the league. Both of them give up about 330 yards a game. They have decent pass defense is decent. They're both middle, well, not even say middle of the pack, like top 20, which is not really good. But when you have injuries and you have rookies in there, like we've seen with the Redskins, you have blown coverages sometimes. So sometimes the stats can get inflated. That's why I don't put too much credence to the stats. I look at more of what's on the field and how they're playing and how they're, winning the game or losing the game instead of just looking at stats. But just to get to the tail of the tape, I feel the Redskins will have an advantage in this game. Colt McCoy has beat the Cowboys twice before in Cowboy Stadium. They don't have any tape on him except for those games where he beat them, and they feel a little more relaxed because Alex Smith is out. But I'm thinking they're going to have something to worry about because Colt, he's a gunslinger. He's going to throw the ball and he's going to press the defense, and some of them might be interceptions, but he might get some touchdowns on them too. So it's definitely going to be a hell of a game to watch, and I know I'm going to be tuned in.
Oh, they got to win. They got to win this one. I mean, because after Alex Smith breaking his leg, Carol, after that, it's in a sense that a little demoralizing for the team or some of the team members to see a leader go down like that. So, it's kind of tough. So, and then to go right up against the Dallas Cowboys, it has to be mentally like problematic because it's their biggest rivalry. And right after the quarterback went down,
Well, you can look at it that way.
And the fans, because the fans started the shift, they did their fan thing where they celebrated the death of Alex Smith. I saw that in the football group, so man, because I do hang out in there just to be able to carry a conversation, folks.
Yeah.
But some of them were just dancing on his broken leg. They were like, "Oh well, see, I told you he wasn't as good as RG3." And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, where y'all come? How are we talking about this?
It's certain things that I don't even engage in, like certain conversations like that. I don't even waste my time on. And the folks that cheer for players to get injured, those are folks that never played the game and are always cheerleaders and never been in there. So if you are an athlete and you played the game, you would never wish injury on anybody. So those folks I don't even waste the time to talk to. But I heard someone said a homer, but it's cool. You can call me a homer. I mean, the defense is playing well. If Jay Gruden opens the offense up like I feel he will with Colt McCoy because he's been in the offense for 4 years, and you can laugh at Colt, but he's in the league. He knows the offense. He's going to play well because he beats Dallas. That's what he does. So, we'll talk about it on Monday after the game, or my post game after the game. Then we can see who's having the last laugh, Kevin. So it's all good.
Shade.
It's all good.
Who's your favorite football team?
The Giants.
Ooh, okay. New York, represent.
Okay, I know they didn't have such a great year. But the Giants, man.
It makes sense.
Represent New York.
You're always in New York, so it makes sense.
New York.
I actually don't like the Giants because they always find a way to beat the Redskins, even if they're like this year. The game was, a good game, but they always find a way to beat us, even when they're at their lowest and the Skins could win 5 in a row, look like Super Bowl champions, and the Giants will find a way to beat them. So everybody hates the Cowboys. I really hate the Giants because the Giants would always find a way to beat the Redskins.
I think it's New York, DC.
Yeah, there's that undercurrent rivalry that goes on that no one really talks about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's definitely something there.
Yeah.
But also, before we wrap up the sports, I also want to mention the Wizards. You saw some reports coming out day before yesterday, about Bradley Beal coming out of practice upset, saying, things have been happening in practice for the last 7 years, and trade rumors, and came out that John Wall got into a shouting match with the coach where he got fined and apologized to the team and everything. Well, we was talking about possibly blowing the team up, trading folks or whatever. Last night, they showed out against the LA Clippers. Well, they were down by 20 points by the second quarter, but they rallied to come back and beat them by 8. And the Clippers are a good team. And when they went out to the West Coast and played the Clippers, they got embarrassed. So the fact that they were able to come back home, even go down 20 at home, and then find a way to win. And I think the pivotal play was when Bradley Beal had a collision with one of the opposing players and drew blood. And like whenever he had something like that happen, he always like steps it up. I just wish he could do that without having to have a collision or something happen in the game to spark him to get going. But he definitely showed out last night, and the Wizards got to give him a shout out for coming back after all the stuff that was out there, all the negative press, all the trade rumors, that they came out and played some solid ball yesterday.
All right.
Yeah, what about you, GLP? I know you didn't watch no basketball last night.
No, dude.
What were you watching last night?
I was watching old wrestling clips. That's what I do. When I'm up late and drunk, I just watch old WWF stuff, some NWA stuff, watching some Dusty Rhodes, some Ric Flair, some Tully Blanchard. We've actually interviewed Tully Blanchard, mind you, on Tru Radio Network. Thank you, and just really just spaz out, dude. I don't know, and just chill, man. I don't really get into the sports. I'll probably watch the Redskins game, tomorrow, just because it would be great if they lost on Thanksgiving. And here's why. Tomorrow
the Redskins play, right?
Yep.
4:30.
And the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. So here's why they should lose, right? For the sake of DC, right? They're already number one. They're doing great. Okay. But if they win, the DC Redskins fan will be the most annoying person on Facebook until the next game.
I might have to.
Well, they have to win, because if the Cowboys win, they'll be tied for first place. We have a 1-game lead over the Cowboys, a 2-game lead.
Come on, Cowboys.
2-game lead over the Eagles, I believe. So yeah.
All I want is a peaceful week on social media. Like, I'm cool when they win,
it's
right?
Not going to happen.
But if they beat Dallas on Thanksgiving, it's going to be every single day, almost 24 hours of Redskin stuff.
I mean,
when they lose, they chill out. They chill a little bit,
It's that time of year, man. Playoffs around the corner. It's getting cold outside. You got football. You got Thanksgiving. I mean, it goes hand in hand with rowdy Redskins fans that sometimes talk a little bit too much. it happens. I mean, I deal with it.
I swear to God, I turned on the first thing I saw. It was I think Home of the Washington Redskins, or one of those groups that I'm in. As soon as I come on, I'm scrolling. I get through 2 posts, and the first thing I see is, "Well, I told you RG3 was a better quarterback." I was like, "God damn, already? Damn."
So RG3 was a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
And the guy that hurt himself is a quarterback.
Yeah.
So they can't leave that.
Sports on the Hill is going to be all about a Redskins defense Monday night, everybody.
I don't get into all of that stuff about the past. It is what it is, man. You know, it's a lot of, you know, the sports media kind of precipitates this stuff. You know, they talk about it on the radio, start the, you know, the hubbub, and then the fans, you know, they taking it wrong with it.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it. That's why we started Sports on the Hill podcast, to try to stop all of that nonsense and get some real information out there that people can actually listen to and understand.
Oh my God, I just realized I had an extra button unbuttoned.
He's trying to be sexy.
I was
for
trying
the
to be
ladies.
sexy for a minute, son. Oh, I was looking because, folks, you know, the beauty.
Man,
You know, we do when we do radio here, we can see ourselves, and so a little behind, little Deadpool issue, little Deadpool, you know, fourth wall thingy right there for you. And so I just looked, and I was like, oh, is that my chest? Oh my God! I mean, maybe it just naturally happened because I was sitting next to Sheeta, so I was like, hey girl,
Here we go, y'all.
what's she doing after the show, boo?
Oh Lord.
Oh, you are sick. You are a sick man.
It was I didn't know it was unbuttoned. That was funny. Oh, sorry, Carl. You still on it?
Nah, you good, man. We pretty much good. We can get into some even some music or some fashion, or we can get into some politics. What you want to delve into, man?
Let's see. Sheeta's in the building. Let's see what Sheeta wants to talk about.
Well, first of all, of course, I'm going to talk about entertainment. What's going on in the entertainment world? And first of all, Tekashi 6ix9ine is in custody by the feds.
Carol's boy.
Man,
Don't
put that on me. Don't put that on me.
He is in custody, and it's funny because they were watching him. So they let him get away with a lot of crimes, and then they caught him for racketeering and weapon charges.
6ix9ine.
To add on to the weapon charges and the racketeering, maybe a little bit before that, it was a shootout and he was involved. There was a robbery, he was involved. There's a little kid getting spanked on the ass and he was involved. Like,
huh? Whoa, hold on.
Yeah. Sexual acts with a child were one of his previous charges.
And that,
because it's all out now. Now that the feds got him, they gave the whole list of everything that he's done and whatever. So yeah.
There's a video of there's supposedly a video. I haven't seen it yet. But there's supposedly a video out with the it's a guy and the kid and him smacking that ass.
Oh man, the video's coming out.
See, this is why I don't know who this person was.
Man,
I have no idea who this 6ix9ine. I don't listen to any of this new rap. So when T.O.P. posted the breaking news of this, first of all, I was like, why is this person relevant? Just looking at them, and I haven't listened to their music, so I'm not knocking them, respect, talent, whatever, but this is what they do when they get famous or whatever. This is the new, is it too much movies, too much TV? What's going on?
Well, they're saying that his real name is Daniel Tekashi 6ix9ine for y'all, for everybody that doesn't know. Daniel. Damn, Daniel. But so his real name is Daniel, and the debate is saying that he, is trying to live his rap career so much, but that Daniel wouldn't be acting like that because Daniel was a good kid.
So now we got the whole alter ego going, where the good versus evil, and the evil took over for too long, and the good did. Okay, so it's like a comic book.
Basically,
okay.
But the sad part about it is he has 36 years to life.
Son.
And that's like mandatory. If he gets charged, if he's guilty.
How old is he?
22.
22, son.
22.
Wow.
36 years.
36 to life. It's like.
What the heck?
I'd be like, somebody, I gotta tie my shoes and get my shoestring out. Like, y'all ain't taking me.
That might be the best bet for him, because they gonna pass that little dude around like a blunt.
Oh man.
And he's in general population.
Yeah, they would have been Gen Pop. That's why I read that.
General
They're gonna
population.
pass him around like a blunt.
Man.
But I was listening to Joe Budden, shout out to Joe Budden. I was listening to his podcast, and he was saying that there is no PC in, like, that's basically the private area for, like, stars or anybody who's, of substance.
Okay.
There is no PC there.
Damn.
So he had the safest place is general population.
Wow. Well, he's gonna be in solitary, I guess. That might be his best bet.
But he can get something it starts with an S. And it's basically you could be separated.
Okay.
From, if you request it or something like that, you could be separated, but you have to request it and all this, that, and the third.
Well, who knows, man? That's wild. It's sad that folks choose to get famous and then trying to live a lifestyle or a movie and then screw it all up, and now you want to play victim. Oh, I was just trying to. No, it's too late now. You did it. Now you got to face the consequences of it.
Yeah, because we knew something was going down. Because me and Sheeta was talking about this, and how. One, the robbery when he got robbed, and then the two people shot over the gate when him and Kanye West and Nicki was supposed to be there, but she was late. So, and then after that, he fired his whole staff, and then he got pinched by the feds. That's the timeline. Because I got to talk to Sheeta about this shit. So I
have something quick to add to the timeline.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
The feds wanted to put him in protective custody, not protective custody, but they wanted to protect him.
Okay.
First, so there's a lot of different stories going around. So before they put him in custody, they were supposed to be protecting him, keeping him away from whatever was going on.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of conspiracies around this whole 6ix9ine thing.
Oh, boy.
So you had the shooting, and then this, that, and the third, and
Let me ask you guys. Let's do it, okay? Let's go there, okay? Sheeta P's in the house. We're gonna swerve it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Do you guys believe? Because I do. I'll say it before I even ask the question. I believe in what I'm about to ask. Do you guys believe that celebrities have to pay a certain price in the end after all the money and the glory? Like maybe there's some kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say like a deal or anything. It's just like this kind of the way it works.
Sacrifice.
I feel like, you know what I mean? You have to, there's a price you have to pay.
well, I won't be saying anything about that yet.
But that's just how I feel. I know it's weird and kind of off cuff, but it's just like, it seems like a lot of the, like, if it's somebody that'll go down, it's always somebody like influential. You never hear about like, the okay dudes are just sliding through. The mumble rappers, they're all healthy and great and good to go.
Or they get killed.
Yeah. But it's just like, damn, 6ix9ine had his height of fame, and then boom, it's like he paid the price for something. I don't know. I'm sure he committed the crime, but
I mean,
you
really can't say paid the price. I mean, if he did it, they got footage and tape and all the stuff they say they got. I mean, these folks are making choices. I mean, they got into the music game because they supposedly wanted to get out of the bad situation they were living in so they could stop selling drugs and stop having to be in that lifestyle. And then they get famous and get rich and then choose to go back to that same lifestyle. So some folks set themselves up for failure, where most times when there is a price to pay for being famous because you're in that limelight. Folks want to be like you, want to emulate you, so they're going to be in every facet of your life. When something happens to you, something that could be insignificant to us, or we got a boot put on our car. Oh, let a famous person, a miscommunication or something, they get a boot on their car. Oh, they're going bankrupt. They got a boot on their car. They said their house is in foreclosure. None of that other stuff is true. But because of that and who you are, it's going to change the whole dynamic, and it's buzz and it's clickbait and it's ways for people to get money off of it because of who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll be contacting the National Enquirer. I have a story about Sheeta P. I'm just going to make it up and see where that gets me.
Any more breaking news in the music industry that doesn't relate to somebody getting shot or locked up?
I think more of them need to be shot or locked up. I think
it's a long shot. I mean,
that was a joke, everybody. It's a joke.
There's really it's just been all about Cardi and Cardi finally showed her baby in front of everybody. So that's that's the biggest other news. And other than that, Nikki just said she loves Daniel Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Well, he's gone now. She's got to find a new boyfriend.
It's
too late.
That's the hottest on the street right now, I think. Everything else is like...
His commissary going to be right.
And Joel Santana's missing teeth, but that's...
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, because Joel's is my man. I was a Dipset junkie. And I saw I think it was like a week ago. Shut up. Don't judge me.
I love Dipset. I did.
But I saw the footage of him doing the mixtape or whatever, and I read it. I didn't watch it. I read the caption and said, he wouldn't open up his mouth, and then when he did, they saw that he didn't have his front teeth. What's the word behind that? I'm kind of blown about that.
Well, it blew me too because I'm a big Dipset fan. I was like, everything was Dipset. Bird Gang, you know what I mean? Everything was Dipset.
Yeah, I was a Dipset junkie also.
I mean, I'm telling you.
Not this guy.
So 50 trolled him again. He trolls everybody.
He trolls everybody.
So he said, basically was saying, man, where's your teeth at? You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
And then Joel's responded back with another post. He had his full set in. But now, recently, he's just admitting to having a drug and alcohol addiction. So he probably was missing his teeth, but he's probably got it fixed the next day. Like, wait.
So a drug and alcohol addiction?
Yep.
Tell him I said what's up. On that note, I'm gonna fill our cups back up.
Yeah, I kind of figured that, especially with the way that Cam went down with him and his drinking, kind of ruined him. And Jewel's, them all being together. And I like Jewel's. I was listening to some of his old mixtapes that came out maybe 2012, 2013. And I thought he was about to, come out, jump on the scene and make it happen. But then he fizzled out. So it makes sense, unfortunately, that is the first thing that go when you on that stuff is your teeth.
Wow. And that, what's funny? I know.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Talking about crystal meth.
That nigga ain't got no teeth.
Yeah, it was shocking for real. I was like, damn, that's where Joel's at now.
It was shocking for me too because he was one of my favorites. Even his underground stuff. I mean, every time I was in New York, I was like at the mixtape spot getting Dipset undergrounds but he got his teeth back, so that's what matters. But I was just shocked at first, you got chains on, and we need to get together, brother, because you one of my favorites.
You might have left him at home that day.
Let's break that down there. We're talking about a famous rap artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the best part of Sheeta's story, she goes, so and so and so, da da da. It was rough, but he got his teeth back. It's sad. I mean, it's sad. I'm just saying, but it's just like
it could have been worse.
That's the highest hopes we can have for our rappers now that they just have teeth. It used to be a good album. We used to want a great album. Now we just hope they have teeth. That's all we need.
Honestly, that means the rapper's doing pretty good if you can afford to get those teeth fixed. It's very costly because you got a lot of folks out here with chipped tooths and everything because they can't afford to get it fixed. If he did lose them and they're able to at least afford to get something to replace it, he doing something, okay, I can't say right if you don't have those teeth. But
I would say now I would need research to see if they were dentures or his real teeth that were fixed. If they're dentures, they're pretty cheap.
I mean,
we're talking about rappers missing teeth.
We got to get Sheeta on investigating on that.
I'll be investigating. No offense, Joel. You know what I mean?
We got to get to the bottom.
Flying over here.
We got to get to the bottom of this. This is causing a disruptive in the universe with Tru Radio on WLVS.
Were they dentures or were? No, I'm just kidding. By the way, I have no beef with any rap people out there.
Members.
Love you guys. You guys are great.
Man, like I said, I used to bang Dipset, man. Dipset is who got me into making beats. They,
Dipset.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, it's cool. You can't win them all. You guys can't be perfect.
I damn sure ain't trying to be. I damn sure ain't trying to be. That's too hard. No. I'm good where I am.
So I was gonna, speaking of celebrities, I was gonna talk about I had a list of my top 10 rap artists of all time, and of course I didn't bring it, right? But So I went through it, and I just could not take Cool G Rap off the #1 slot. And I think a lot of people don't really acknowledge all Cool G Rap's done and his amazing music. I don't know if you're a Cool G Rap guy, lady. Sorry, I said guy. That was me.
Filling up that cup.
Surprised she didn't hit me.
Cool G Rap is definitely one of the mentioned, underrated top rap artists, MCs. I can't even say artists, MCs, lyricists of all time. And he doesn't get mentioned a lot because folks don't go back to the old. This is my problem with music nowadays. We don't go back to the foundation of it. You can't say Lil Wayne is the hottest ever or one of these other new folks is the hottest ever if you haven't went to the foundation of it. If you haven't listened to EPMD, BDP, Public Enemy, Beastie Boys, you got to have a foundation to know what's good and what's not. And the fact that nobody really goes back to find out what this thing really was about. It wasn't about just making money and bling bling and talking about being in a club. It was actually about substance. Then I think they have more pride in what they do. Right now, it's just a money making machine. That's all it is.
Yep. What are your thoughts? You know about Cool G Rap, Sheeta?
Actually, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
A great MC. Yeah, by way of Jason.
It's funny. Like when me and Sheeta will have like marketing sessions, so we'll meet up and talk about business and stuff like that, and then I have to hear a lot about the Coke Boys, and that's Sheeta's folks, and I love the Coke Boys, by the way. I didn't know a lot about them, but now that you play more of their music, I really enjoy it. But the one thing is I'll just have like an old album on or old CD and after like a couple of songs, or we'll be using YouTube, and she'll go, "I'm tired of your old music, Jason."
I get the same thing, man.
I mean, it's not bad. Like, I'm still like kind of in the Mr. Cheeks, Rakim, like that. When it gets like, and some of these people are like around the same time but a little older. That's when I start getting. It just wasn't in my time frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And so that's it.
You have to get exposed to it. You have to understand what this really. Because I get offended at some of this stuff that's out here that they call music nowadays.
Yeah.
Because it's not. And if you can go back to where the folks really had something to say, and it wasn't about just being in the club or just popping bottles and all this and that, then I think you'll have a better understanding of what music really is supposed to be. It's no love in it no more. It's no heart, no passion. It's all about I need a hit so I can make this money. It's not about I want to have something that's going to be everlasting. It's actually considered art or music. It's sad.
See, but here's my and I agree with everything you said 100%. But here's my take on it though, is that we have to sit back as people of color who invented rap, across Africans or African Americans or what have you. Plus, it's Latino influence. We have to figure out. We have to ask ourselves how it got there. And I think that's what a lot of us don't like. I didn't do that for a while, but then I started doing it because I was just like, we have to look at where who owns all these labels now.
Yeah.
All the the Bad Boys and the BETs and all this stuff that we owned is all gone. If you think about it, it's all gone.
That is a conversation we did start to have.
Yeah, and so that's one thing that I blame for it. So it's kind of like, no offense to anybody, but if we sold off our culture and they got rid of all the the intellectual MCs and all that, the smart,
That's the purpose.
the teaching, the KRS One-ish MCs, like the newer versions, what I'm saying, they were teaching, and they pushed them all under and then put up and fund and prop up these kids.
Yeah.
So I'm mixed on it.
Yeah.
Well, just like anything, it's capitalism. Like you say, you had the Def Jams, you had the Rockefellers. They all, what did they do? They chased the American dream. You build something, you sell it off, and right off into the sunset with a whole bunch of money. And now the music industry is suffering for it.
So
they really are.
So that's why I don't blame the kids so much. I say it was our culture that did it, and that's just what. This is gonna be nice, but that's what we find ourselves doing as black people sometimes. And it sucks, but. Like the entire, there's no main company. And someone will always, when I say this, someone will always come up and name some whatever, so and so records. I'm like, dude, no, I don't know who that is.
Everybody got a record.
You know,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it's a rough thing because a lot of the same people who say hip hop is, and I'm damn sure not naming any names. A lot of people who say hip hop is bad are partially responsible for letting their era go and letting those black owned and independent labels go.
it's definitely some blame to be shared, go across the board. But
Yeah.
what gets me is when folks say, well, you know, the music has changed, you got to get with it and move. And I'm like, nah, it's supposed to evolve, which means get better. This stuff is not better than what we used to listen to. So I can't, like I said, I don't have no disrespect for any artist. If you get your stuff out there, people listen to it, hey, more power to you. But even the good artists, that's, you know, I don't mean to say good, but Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, the folks that
Tyler
do have
Qualities.
lyrics, yeah, they do. Well, see, I can still rock with Tyler. But like this new generation of rappers, even though I give them respect and I know they have skill, it's like I can't even open my ears to them for real because I can't connect to it.
Yeah.
And you know, with the R&B though, with the R&B and stuff, there's still some great singers, Jaquise, and you know what I'm saying. There's a couple of other people that came out that's why I like R&B, because they still fill you in. Like these artists, these new artists that just came out, they're kind of making that old school feel again.
Okay.
But then it's still a little shaky, and all the people that do got the good old school feel, they're putting them like on some station that you know nobody's gonna listen to.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's always been the realest music is always never put on the mainstream. It's always on the
Basically.
underground, and so that I've never understood that.
Well, and that takes it back to Cool G Rap, because I just want to talk about him until he comes on the show. Cool G Rap, we're gonna get you on the show, dude. I swear to God.
Oh, that would be
I swear
lovely.
you're gonna be sitting in the seat right over here. I swear to God.
We can get Cool G Rap over.
We gotta get him on.
Gotta get him on.
But one thing, he was like such a hot rapper. Like he's never done a bad track. He's been on bad beats, but he's never. It's every song ever has been like great, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes he has to lower himself down to mesh with the other person. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't murder him. You know. Yeah, but like he's always amazing. So, but he never was outside of like Ill Street Blues and I think Fast Cars with Nas. It's the same thing. Barry, they just never pushed him as the mainstream artist. And I'm sitting there listening to him growing up, and I'm like, he's murdering everybody out here right now on the radio, but he's not.
But think about it. I just
You
thought
know.
about it. It's because of his past.
Oh yeah.
That's
Wait,
what I was thinking about it. Somebody else that was a great lyricist that didn't get a shot because of his criminal past. K Solo. That was my man.
K Solo was savage.
Oh man, K Solo. He was before his time.
Because I don't know who that is.
We have just revealed our age, ladies and gentlemen.
We did.
Just revealed our age.
Me and Carol are 80, and Sheeta P is 22. Thank you, everybody.
Wow.
Have a great night. No, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Well, K Solo.
K Solo.
Oh my God.
That's your homework assignment. That's your homework assignment for tonight. Go on YouTube and look up K Solo.
Alright, I got y'all.
And next week you'll have a book report on K Solo and his life in hip hop.
And then I'll follow him on Instagram.
Let me tell you, and Sheeta will get that interview, believe me. Hello. You know, one thing is I'm going to cut that part out with Sheeta. He's like, who is K Solo? That is so going to be us. I'm going to do something with that. That was great. That was great. But you know what though? But that's, you know, the thing is, Carol, the opposite end of it is Sheeta knows all about the current event stuff. So you got your little yachties and all them. You know what I'm saying? So boom, she can drop the news in. You know what I'm saying? See, that's her thing. So when we keep up for the old school.
I'm gonna just sit back and take notes.
So this is good though, you know, so I can learn, you know.
Yeah.
Because I ran into a couple of people. I was like, what? They be like, that's such and such. I was like, what?
Nah.
I was like, for real?
Okay.
Oh boy. Oh,
Okay. We're not gonna name anybody's name, right?
Oh boy. Oh, boy.
But Sheeta met like a major superstar, right? And I'll tell you after. Okay. Matter of fact, without saying it, you almost used a picture of those two meeting in one of your videos.
I think I know.
Okay.
I think you told me. I think you might have told me.
So Sheeta, because like I said, we're not gonna name names, you know. And so Sheeta goes, "Oh yeah, I me and so are messaging." I go, "Wait a minute, what?" She's like, "Who is he?" I was like,
Talking about who is he?
I didn't know who he was.
You you got Google on your phone? Google?
I know, but you don't think about it. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit old school.
My mouth dropped when you told me that. I was like, no, she didn't say that. She didn't. No, she didn't say that. Who?
But it's cool though. It's cool though. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta learn. We gotta know. Like I said, we're older, so we have a different outlook on it. She's of the newer generation, so
yeah, and it goes both ways because boom, I can get the celebrity news from her because I don't have to look it up, so she could just Yeah. Speaking of news, see that segue? See that segue? That was a great segue, folks. I can't get segue props. That's like 100. That's like 100 segue points for segue in the show.
All right, that was a pretty good segue.
Thank you.
It was a decent segue.
Thank you. It's good. It's good, Carol. All right, so California wildfire update. We are, last I saw on the reports, remember last week, I believe it was like 52 dead. And what was it, 200 missing, Carol?
I think it was more than that. I think it was presumed missing like 500.
Okay. I just want to give the same number I gave last week. So now, the last report I saw was at 72 dead, guaranteed dead, and 1,200 American people missing. Right? And the numbers, they go up every day. So they may have gone up by now,
Yeah, every day they just...
Well, they actually they were supposed to get some rain today, which is supposed to help. So I know they said one of them, because they got 2 fires going, one at each side. They had one of them was like 95% contained, they said, and then the other one was like 50% contained. And that's where I think they said the rain was going to fall today. I haven't seen the weather since I got off of work, but hopefully they did get some rain to help over there because it's crazy, and you got the crazy man in the White House that's sending troops to an imaginary border and bringing them back home before the immigrants get there and causing $250 million in more debt. They could have went to helping the wildfires get put out, or maybe some infrastructure where bridges are falling, or maybe get the teachers a raise or put some books in the school. But no, we want to do things for political reasons during the midterms to send some troops down there just to show we don't like brown people coming into our country.
And we don't like brown people. That's just...
And diseases.
Yeah. So...
I'm sorry.
So I was reading...
I didn't see that one coming.
Hey, I loved it. I'm just like, can we only let the women in from the caravan? Can we only let the women in? And
women and kids.
And they're gonna need to marry a man. So I'll be down at like, listen, if you're fresh in the country and just here's the rule, just don't argue with me and I'll marry you and you'll be a citizen. That's it. Just do what I say, okay? All right.
I'm not touching.
You don't even need to know English. I just point like stove. Right?
That is not right.
Damn it,
That
Jason.
is not right.
If they're coming in if they just walked like 2,000 miles to get here, they'll marry me. Like, so I'll be able to. I should go down to the border and be like, look, that's my wife right there. Excuse me, officer. Can you grab her? I don't know about the kid, but that's my wife.
All right.
Did we just do that?
To try to bring
Leave
some
the kid
steadiness back
behind.
to the show real quick.
It's not coming back.
I got a score and update from Robbie. He just chimed on the Facebook Live.
He's Jewish. He's Jewish.
The Caps win 4-2 tonight.
Tell Jewish Robbie I said what's up.
What's going on, Robbie? To give an update, the Caps win 4-2 tonight. I'll have the update on the scoring on the page later on. But if you were watching the game and checking us out, Caps did win. I saw they were up 2-0 against Chicago earlier. They prevailed 4-2 for their, I believe, 5th win out of the last 6 games, trying to get things back together. And Tom Wilson scored, which my favorite player came back over that suspension, is giving a spark to the team that I knew he was, and they can get back in that Stanley Cup form. Now let's get back in the current events.
Okay. I had no idea what he was talking about. I was like, when is this shit over? No, I'm just kidding. Guys, so that's where we're at. And, the president went down to the California wildfires because I remembered where I was, right? And he went down there and he still said the wrong thing. And I don't, and again, like I said last time, I'm not Trump's biggest fan or his biggest enemy. I'm like right in the middle, right? And so he goes down there and he just says the wrong goddamn thing again. He still somehow find a way to slide in the forest management the forest management statement. And again, like I told you guys last week, I just want to make sure everybody knows that, he controls, the federal government controls 60% of the budget for forest management. So he's still blaming himself. So every time he says that, I'm just like,
cut the budget.
Oh, but he's
You know.
in charge of it, right?
Yes.
But the worst thing was when he tried to say the
Crazy, right?
president from Iceland. I mean, was it Iceland or I forgot where it was, but said that they are a forest nation and they were raking their forests so they wouldn't have wildfires, and when they did, in his exact words, they weren't really that big. And then the president came out and said, "We never had that conversation, and I never said that." And
Yeah, I saw
Trump
that.
still will not admit that he pulled that out of his ass.
How do you like rake?
The forest.
I mean, you know, like I could see that. I could see that conversation with some psycho conservative online. I attack him like you don't know, Carol. You don't need to be there. I'm on the Black Tea Party Patriots page, and I just go to war with them because I'm like, as a former Republican, and I still lean conservative, but I go after and attack these wacko people because the party's just nuts now. So I just had to get the fuck away from them. But if it was one of them saying it to me, I'd be like, okay, this guy's a right wing wacko. But it's like when the president says we have to rake the forest, dude. I was like, how do you rake the forest, bro?
I mean,
I think Trump's an entertainer at the end of the day. Like, for real. I don't agree.
He's a joke.
Yeah, like, and that's what he is. So he's gonna say things that is crazy, so he can keep his ratings up. Like, it believe it or not, it helps him. You know what I mean? Like, as a president, just saying bad things. Like, everybody's like, what is he saying now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say, though?
It's scary and sad at the same time because this man gets away with saying pretty much anything out of his mouth.
They didn't impeach him yet?
Like, nah, bro.
They have
and he's not going to get impeached.
And please, we don't want to impeach. We don't want Mike Pence as the president. I say this every week, every day if I have to. We do not want Mike Pence as he wants to have funerals for aborted fetuses. This man ran Indiana. What? Yes, he cut funding to Planned Parenthood because he's so he's so pro-life that Indiana had the highest rate of teen pregnancy and STD rates in the country while he was in charge of that state. And we don't want him running the ship. We already got a crazy man at the ship. Now you're going to have a crazy man with a Bible running the ship. And no telling what might happen if he gets in there. He got that crazy look. He looks like Hank Hill's from the cartoon. He looked like his dad. And then it would be Pence and Paul Ryan. Good luck with that, everybody. Oh, Lord.
But it's funny. I do so many of these arguments. I went all the way down because let's say they all keep getting impeached, right? I just thought it through, and I got the whole pecking order of who would be president. Number 13 is Ben Carlson. So if they just keep impeaching Republicans eventually, which will never happen, but eventually Ben Carlson would be president. How cool would that be,
Even though it's number 13, that's still a scary thought.
He's on the list, though,
Let's say if they all on the same plane or something. We gotta have this. I'm like, nah, dog, nah, this, nah, bro. Nah. I'm gonna go ahead and pack my bag. I'm gonna have to learn some Spanish, and I'm going south.
Where you going, man? You going to Brazil?
I'm going to Dominican Republic, man.
I go to Brazil.
Oh, well, Dominican's right next to Haiti.
I don't know.
Didn't
They're
know that.
right
I
next
will
to each
find
other,
out.
like, bam.
I don't know, but I will find out.
So that means somewhere out there is a woman who is Dominican and Haitian mixed.
Yeah. Dang.
Carol, we gotta go, dude.
I gotta
Look.
get my passport.
I need to go too, because them niggas be looking like Jesus. I was like, I need to go.
Yeah, I need to get
You'd have to get a separate room if you've been with me and Carol, okay?
Oh boy, yeah, real down. We on world travel. We really can't. Now that's the other thing about this guy.
Well, excuse me, she has a phone call.
Sorry.
Breaking news. Somebody must have got locked up. What's happening? Somebody got locked up. Right. I'm just saying, it's the music industry. The day before Thanksgiving, somebody got beef.
Yeah.
An album about to drop or something. Come on. We know something going to pop up. Right? Somebody going to OD or somebody going to get stabbed in the club or something. Our mixtape drop next week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's how it always happens, man.
Uh-huh.
It's the music industry is wild.
Oh, man. This is too much fun.
That is true.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Also, you guys still want to do some current events? Or?
Yeah, we got to talk some more about this. We got to talk some more about what's going on because with the midterms and with the Democrats winning the Congress now.
The weather.
you want to do some weather shit?
Well, they're talking about, using, they had the movie Geostorm where they controlled the weather. This was a science fiction movie at that. But now they're talking about, since our weather is getting so bad, the wildfires, we had how many hurricanes coming? So now
it was like one every day.
Well,
now they're really talking about using it.
Yeah, there've been some conspiracy theories saying that the government can control the weather. I mean, there's ways to control clouds. You can put, you can do stuff to make rain, and so you can control the weather in a certain aspect. But it all comes down to global warming that they don't want to admit to. That's the funniest thing about science. These folks go to school to learn to be a scientist, to know this stuff. They come back with the facts, and long-term politicians that they never did one science class in their life saying, no, that's fake news. That's not real. There's no such thing as climate change. But we just studied it for such and such years. We went to school. We got degrees in this. No, it's not real.
They don't want a world of panic.
Yeah, so all of the, I mean, you can't cause panic when you see it every day. Like you say, Katrina, all of these hurricanes, the drastic weather, the season change now. Like we missed fall. We went from summer to winter that quick.
Yeah.
So you got to acknowledge that things are changing, but they don't want to because then they have to admit some responsibility in what's going on and why, some of this stuff is happening with the global warming.
I'm sorry, I was listening.
I didn't. My bad.
One more signal.
Oh man, we want to wrap up with some more of
Wait, I was seeing what happened?
No, we was just wrapping up with the.
Okay, because I can't see you.
I'm sorry.
That's the lights.
Oh my God.
So we get a signal, ladies and gentlemen.
After this show, we'll get it together.
It's for the proving ground. It's just take one with the trio.
Because it's funny because so we have our engineer over here, right?
Shout out to our great engineer.
Killing it, by the way. And but see, we have these studio lights, and these are really sunglasses, so I can't see him. It's great.
That's why he is who he
the
is.
The studio lights, I love it.
They're beautiful. I
just like my eyes gleaming through the sun.
Well, the very definition of lit right now. That's a light joke. Did that?
Lit.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm old. Okay, just bear with me.
He's not old. He's lying.
Carol, man, let them know where they can find you. We'll just go on the list where they can find us all.
You can find me on Facebook at Carol Porter III. You can find me on YouTube, Carol Porter III, 3 Eyes, all my videos, highlights, all we do on Sports and Ill Podcast, Facebook Live simulcast, Monday night, 7 to 9, Tru Radio Network. Every other Thursday night, we talk boxing, MMA, Thursday night football, and our weekly Redskins breakdown. Every Monday, we talk Redskins, Nationals, Capitals, Wizards, Valor, DC Divas. We cover the whole spectrum. We got a tight team. We got insiders. We got experts. Check us out every Monday night, 7 to 9, Tru Radio Network.
Where can they find you? Sheeta, go.
Go ahead, Sheeta. Let them know.
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google, Bing, Yahoo, Sheeta Pope, SHIDAPOPE, or you can find me on This Is 50. You can find me in movies. You can find me on magazine covers. Shout out to the Rap Magazine and things like that. So you can find me on Coke Boys mixtapes and things like that. Shout out to DJ Life, Coke Boy, Jukepop, French Montana. What up?
All right, folks. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm not doing the rundown because I'm tired. Hey, you guys have a great night. We'll see you soon.